Everyone's done it. You go to the supermarket, look at two bottles of olive oil, one for $7, the other for $28, and without reading a single word on the label, you put the more expensive one in your cart. And as you walk down the aisle with that bottle as if you'd bought a family heirloom, you think, yes, that's the right choice. But let me ask you something. Based on what, exactly? You haven't proven either of them. You haven't read any analysis. You looked at the price and your brain, that complicated machine you trust so much, simply decided that expensive equals better. And that was it. End of discussion. Your brain closed the case before the jury even met. This has a name. It's called the perceived quality pricing effect. And before you think this is something only naive people do, let me tell you, this happens to doctors, economists, university professors, and anyone who has ever been through a supermarket checkout in their life. This isn't stupidity, it's biology. The human brain is lazy by design. It doesn't want to process every decision from scratch, so it uses shortcuts. And one of your brain's favorite shortcuts is simple. High price equals a sign of quality. Low price equals a sign of suspicion. And this shortcut is so ingrained that we don't even realize when it's operating. Think about it. Have you ever taken a generic medication that works exactly like the brand name one, but had that strange feeling that maybe it wasn't as effective? That wasn't your imagination. Researchers at Duke University documented that people report less pain relief with cheaper medication, even when the chemical compound is identical. The price altered the physical experience, not the product. The price. This is so absurd, it deserves a pause to process. A number printed on a box changed how your body responded to a medication. If that doesn't leave you slightly disturbed by your own mind, you're not paying attention. And the American market understands this better than anywhere else in the world. The United States is the global laboratory for perception marketing. Here, brands learned decades ago that you don't need to have the best product. You need to have the product that looks the best. And price is the easiest and cheapest signal to manipulate. You take two products with virtually identical production costs, say 50 cents difference at the factory, and you price one at $39.99 and the other at $249 in beautiful packaging, with a minimalist logo, in a store that smells of vanilla and has art gallery lighting. And suddenly, the more expensive one doesn't seem more expensive. It seems sophisticated. It seems like it was made especially for you. It seems like you deserve it. And that's precisely where the illusion takes shape. Because a high price doesn't communicate quality. It creates quality in your head. Researchers from Stanford and Caltech placed people inside MRI machines while they tasted wine. They were given false prices. Cheap wine described as expensive activated the pleasure centers of the brain more intensely. The wine didn't change. The label changed. The physical experience of drinking the same liquid was literally altered by a number. This is what marketers call perceived value. This is what you should call weight. Am I paying to be deceived? Short answer, yes, frequently. In the United States, this has become a structured culture. You see it everywhere. Elite gyms that charge $250 a month when the corner gym for $30 has the same equipment. Online courses costing $2,000 with information you can find for free on YouTube. Coffee shops that charge $8 for coffee that was grown, transported, and prepared at a cost of 60 cents. But the barista drew a little flower in the foam, and the shop has exposed brick and a jazz playlist. And you pay. You pay, smiling. You pay, and even recommend it to a friend. Because the experience feels premium, and it feels premium because it costs premium. It's a perfect tautology that the industry discovered and will never let go of. The problem isn't your naivete. The problem is that this system works because the high price is always accompanied by other signals. The brand with history, the store with impeccable design, the packaging that's too heavy for a product that fits in the palm of your hand, the service that makes you feel special. Altogether, it screams quality so loudly that your prefrontal cortex simply raises its hands and says, "Okay, I accept." And while you accept it, over months and years, you've been paying more. not in isolated purchases, in patterns, in repeated decisions, in a consumer philosophy that assumes more expensive is synonymous with better, even when the evidence doesn't confirm this in absolutely anything. And look, this doesn't mean that expensive products are always fraudulent. It means that a high price is proof of nothing more than a high price. There are products that justify the cost, but that justification needs to come from somewhere beyond the number on the label. It comes from real performance, from proven durability, from premium materials, not from the packaging, not from the store, not from the brand that appears on every billboard on I-95. The question that people rarely ask before buying something isn't how much it costs. It's why it costs that much. These are different questions. The first tells you the price. The second tells you if the price makes sense. And most people stop at the first because the second is more work. Taking work when shopping goes against the instinct for mental shortcuts that your brain loves so much. And there's another layer to this story that almost no one mentions. The high price protects the ego. Think about it. When you buy something expensive and the product disappoints, your brain doesn't conclude that you were cheated. It concludes that maybe you didn't use it correctly, that maybe you're not the ideal target audience, that maybe you need more time to understand its value. Because admitting you paid $300 for something worth $50 is too painful. So the brain protects you from the pain by fabricating an alternative narrative. And in this alternative narrative, the product continues to be good. It's just that you're still maturing to appreciate it. This also has a name. It's called cognitive dissonance. And luxury brands understand this so well that they build entire products and experiences on top of this psychological protection. The more expensive, the harder it is for you to admit you were wrong. The harder it is to admit you were wrong, the more you defend the purchase. The more you defend it, the more you convince others around you. And suddenly, you've become, for free, an unpaid representative of a brand that charged a high price precisely because it knew you would do this. In the United States, this has become almost a social sport. People flaunt the price of things as an achievement. The $400 sneakers aren't just sneakers. They're a statement. It's you telling the world, I can. And the world, conditioned by the same system, responds with respect, with envy, with validation, which means you didn't buy comfort for your feet. You bought social approval. And social approval has a price that never appears on the tag, but you pay it every month, religiously, without even realizing it. So the next time you're faced with two options and the more expensive one seems like the obvious choice, stop for 2 seconds. Not to be frugal, not to cut costs out of principle, but to ask yourself, what exactly is making me think this is worth more? If the answer is the price itself, you've just taken a shortcut. And shortcuts, by definition, don't always lead to the right destination. The question isn't whether it's expensive. The question is whether it's worth it. And those two things are rarely the same, no matter how hard the market works day and night to make sure you never notice the difference.